Welcome to Miss C's cottage. I'm Miss C. This is my cottage, the home of the Sun Bunny, and somebody is a crocheted rabbit that I make and give to people so they know that Sun Bunny loves them. After making over 300 bunnies, branching out to make something called Sun Bunnies. Some buddies, and some buddies are all the other animals in the world. And we're going to take a turn every month and make a different animal. So if you'd like to join us, come on in. Leave your shoes at the door and all your negative thoughts. Bring in a bucket and your project bag. Set your project bag on your chair. Set your bucket by the door. Go get a cup of coffee, or the hot pot's here. Turn that on and have a cup of tea, or some cappuccino, or a chai. I have some chai tea mix this Sunday I found in the pantry. I think it's been there at least 3 years, maybe. I think 3 years it's been in there, but tastes good to me. Hey, Len, and Not So Naughty is here. Looking forward to the cat head, me too. And Leanie and Mia and Ginny's here, and Linda Davison's here. How's Michael? Matthew. Michael. All right, how's Michael? His voice. Kimmer. Regina Provenzano. I love that lady. And Denisha is here. Hello, my love. Denisha is a dear heart. If you don't know her, you need to find out who she is. She has the kindest heart. Denisha is with love, like Zoila is with order. Zoila's got everything under control. But Denisha knows everybody's needs and is always praying for them. And she just loves everyone. And I love her. Hey, Marsha Boo. Mr. Elmo and I are fine. We worked out in the garden yesterday and got a lot of plants planted, and it is really starting to come together. It's so beautiful. I still need to get out there this afternoon before the rains and pull up all the pots that are not being used, dump last year's dirt, and set them all up on the table so that we can see what we have already planted, where they're going to go, and what we need. And what pots we've got to put them in. So I have to start at the root, at the bottom, and so that's what we're going to do. I think I got everybody. Leave your bucket by the door so that you can fill it up with love on your way out, and that way you'll have enough in there to give a scooperful to others around you who need love and don't know it, and probably won't know what to do with it. I brought a picture. Speaking of love, I brought a picture. I did bring it into the cottage. It was, you might be surprised. I don't know. Maybe I've shown it to you before and you're not surprised. This is from doesn't say when it's from, and I can't guess. Um, I'd say it has to be more than 15 years ago, maybe 20. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, it says 2003 on the front. Now, I don't know if that's right because not all cameras have the correct date on them when you take a picture, you know. But this camera says August the 2nd, 2003. It is a picture of my mother and my three sisters, my two sisters and me. Are you ready? This is my mother. This is my oldest sister, Barbara, who is now, well, this year she will be turning 86. She is no longer able to move on her own. She sits in a chair and has to be picked up and moved into the wheelchair to go to bed or into the bathroom. This is my mother. This is my sister, Marilyn, whom I go to visit in Toledo, in Ohio. And this one is me. And there are the three of us Burgess girls with our mother. And I smile every time I see this picture. Do you see my mother? That's her smile. She doesn't smile with an open mouth. It's almost like a grimace. And I've never seen her truly smile. She was a wonderful person. You could go and talk to her and she would listen and never give you advice, but just help you work through it. Of course, Marilyn, this one is as big as this one now. And this one is bigger than here, as am I. Oh, well. Barbara Andrews and Jackie Belcher snuck in, and Jennifer snuck in. And there's Samantha Stewart. Hello, hello. Anyway, that's my family. And it makes me smile when I see that picture. We don't have many pictures of all four of us together. And that was in 1970. Had to have been 1975, I think, when she passed away. But we rarely get the four of us together even because I live down here in Florida and they all live up there in Michigan and Ohio, right across the Michigan-Ohio line. Lydia, hello, hello, hello. And there's Valerie. And my Zach man. I love that kid. I have to tell you that there is a lady that I met in a restaurant called O Solo Mio. It's in the Publix parking lot in Jonesville area of Gainesville. And we had gone there with, I know that you know that I was in radiation therapy with a man named William and his wife and Elmo, and the four of us got acquainted and we've become better friends since that time 2 years ago. But we go to lunch once a month. The four of us try to get together and go to lunch. So this time we went to Jonesville, which is closer to Trenton, where they live. And we went to a place called O Solo Mio. It's an Italian restaurant. It was okay. Mr. Elmo being Italian and making me Italian meals from scratch. This one did not muster up. It was good, but it was not real Italian food. It was, I think all the restaurants have cut back in one way or another. And instead of using this ingredient, they'll use this one because it's a little less expensive. And, things change and nothing ever stays the same. Very few things ever stay the same. I love seeing you all come in. And I don't mind the first 15 minutes of everybody saying hi to everybody else. It warms my heart, guys. It warms my heart. Because we're a family. And even though we don't see each other and we don't know what each other look like sometimes, and we don't usually talk to each other on the telephone or in person or write letters or cards or anything, we're still a family, and that counts for a lot. I don't know about you, but I look forward to certain days and certain times because I know I'm going to meet that branch of my YouTube family at that time, and I love it. Mary Crochets Scripture and Coffee. Well, welcome, Mary. Oh, the beach. Are you here in Florida, Mary? Mary Crochets Scripture and Coffee. Lydia, you haven't been here for a while. So welcome in. You live in Gainesville, Mary. Wow, we've got to get together and have lunch. You got more snow, Zach, man. Amazing. Well, I went and had my pedicure. I think I told you about that. And she's just so lovely. At the beauty shop, or whatever you want to call it, I guess beauty shop is an old-fashioned term for the salon, or whatever they call it now. I don't know. Anyway, the girl who does my feet it's wonderful and doesn't mind when I get talons. And you're in Fort Walton. Okay. Well, when you get home, ding me. Send me a Gmail and we'll see if we can get together for lunch. I'm in Fort White. Well, actually, closer to High Springs. So you probably know where that is. It's just east of or west of you. So I'm sure we can find a spot. Okay. While I was there, they had some beautiful wood turnings. They're beautiful pieces. And I fell in love with this jar. It's about this tall, and it's a regular jar, but the lid has let's see if I well, I'll show you this one. It's not quite like this one, but it has this type of a top on it, and then it comes down and splays out to be the lid, and you take the lid off with this. Absolutely beautiful. And but it was $27, and I'm thinking I can't afford $27 on top of my pedicure, because she gives me the whole thing because my feet are very dry and cracked, and so she does the whole sugar rub and the hot towel, and she's wonderful. Anyway, I said, oh, I'd really like to to purchase this one, but I said I wasn't prepared for this purchase today, so I'm just going to have to wait. And she said, "What would you use it for?" And I said, "I crochet all the time, and I've got stitch markers all over everywhere, so I probably would put my stitch markers in it." Well, she went into her area and she pulls this out. And she said, "Will this work?" And I said, "Yeah, that'll work perfect." She said, "Here." And she gave it to me. She's such a sweetheart. So now I have a wooden stitch marker holder and I absolutely love it. Joe. All right, I don't know what this one is. Jojo Embling. Welcome, Jojo. While we were at O Solomio, I met a lady and forgotten what her name is now, but we swapped cards because she had the shirt on, a short sleeve t-shirt, and down the center of the sleeve were 4 granny squares. And I said, "I love your shirt." And she said, "I do too." And she said they match my shoes, and she held her foot up and her shoes were printed like granny squares on them. It was so cool. I'm afraid if I had those shoes, I would get out my permanent markers and I would color in all the granny squares. But they were so cute. So we changed cars, and she's going to look me up and I'm going to look her up. She doesn't come on YouTube, I don't think, but she did send me, she must have, because she did send me a hello. And I told her I hoped that I would see her today at noon. So we'll see what happens. Granny D, hey, cousin. She has a crochet group that meets 3 times a week, and I'm so excited. They meet Wednesday and maybe Monday. They do a morning, they do an afternoon, and then they do a Saturday morning. And I was just so wanting to go Saturday yesterday, but we didn't make it. So it's okay. It's okay. All right. Let's see. What have I done? I've got a couple hats. I've kind of backed off. I'm not giving up on my hats, but I had to just sit down and say, what is most important? What is most important? God, what would you have me do first? Fix my priorities for me, because I'm discombobulated. So I'm working on a couple things. I've started a dress. This is a Premier pattern, and this is Dottie, which they recommended. But I'm to a point in the pattern where I've not been able to read it and understand what's the next step. And I got confused. And so when I get confused, I just need to put it away and wait for a day that my brain is really clear so that I can do it properly. Because you know me and my brain. Okay, and then I went to Atreyu's channel, and he showed us how to do this hat. And I pulled a skein out of my hat bag, and this is it. This is a really simple hat. You just do, I think you start with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, or go to 60 if you need to. depending on your yarn and your hook size. I do like Sunitha does, and I use the palm of my hand for my measurement. So if my hand goes across the crown of the hat, then I pretty much know that that's the size I need. And the same thing with the height. When I measure the height, the palm of my hand, if it's close, I'm pretty much done. Thank you, Lydia. It is a simple hat to do, and like most of the hats that Atreyu does, he turns his hat every row so that they match his scarf that he makes. I think he likes scarves. Maybe I think it's a close race between the hats and the scarves with him. But he does this, and then he does a single crochet, and then he turns his hat and does a double, and then he turns his hat and does a single until he gets the length that he wants. And that's what gives this ridge in here. And he does a chain 3 every row, so you know where you are, and the chain 3 doesn't count as a stitch, but it fills in that gap. And I like that. I like that. So that's hat number 'cause I'm still doing a hat a day. This is hat number 13. And then this is hat number 12. And this is Sunitha's hat. Her Burst of Kindness crown, I think. It's Burst of Kindness. Burst of Happiness. I don't know what she calls it. Anyway, that's it. And then this is called Cross of Happiness. Somebody tell me. Lydia, that's good. They come out perfect every time. The knitting machine hats, they come out perfect, and they're nice and warm because you do them double. And this has got cross stitch, and then she does, these are extended crochets. Today's Mother's Day. Well, happy Mother's Day, Jen. She starts out with 6, and I have trouble with that. Maybe because I crochet too tight, but mine wind up being a pokey on the top, and I don't like that. You can still see the poke, but it's a really cute hat, and you can't. Crystal wears hers way down here, but she's got hair and a really pretty face, so I don't know. It is what it is. This is number 12. 12 and then 13. And today is 15, so I've got 2 more to do. And I'm working on green, okay? This will be 14. And I'm just about done with that. I think I have 2 more rows to do, and it'll be about the right size. But I keep my yarn in here and my hook there so I don't forget what size I'm doing. And I think that's all I've been working on. Okay. Sunita's here. Yay! Crossing with kindness. Oh, did you like it? It's not as neat and pretty as yours is, but um I tried, and it's not my last one either. I'm gonna do more because I think it's so pretty. Crossing with kindness. Thank you. Crossing with kindness. Okay, that's number, what did I just say? 13? That's number 12. That's hat number 12 for March. All right, let's get to the next thing. Our cat head. Okay, I did my tail, and you all know that I put the blue hair curler in there. And you can probably tell I got a haircut. 8 slices. Oh, okay. Yeah, and then either that or get a bigger hook, maybe. I don't know which one, Sunitha, but it just kind of came out pointy. Like I said, maybe I just did it too tight because I'm used to doing the tight ones on the bunnies and the buddies. So, and that's pretty little. So maybe I just was too tight on it. But I love the way it starts. I love this brim. No, crown. I love this crown. And this one, you have another one. Well, I keep poking it down. You have another one that you do. Let's see. How are we doing this? You do 2 together and then across, and then 2 in the last one, and where you increase. I think that one confuses me. But this one was good. I like this one. I've been doing I haven't done any of Crystal's in the last week or so. I've done Sunitha's, and I've done Atreyu, and I've done a couple of mine this last week. So, and this one, I'm not sure what this one is. I think it's a moss stitch. And this one had, oh, I started out with a moss stitch on that one, so 3 half doubles and a double crochet. Thank you, Lydia. I went and got it cut because it's, I've been chopping on it for a while and it was uneven. So I said, I would like it. She said, well, what kind of a cut do we have? Now, this is Brittany, who does my hair over at Marshall's, and she's left Marshall's for about 2 years, and I couldn't find her. And I walked in to get my pedicure, and there she is. And I said, Brittany, and she said, Miss Seed. I said, can I get an appointment? And so she's the one who cut my hair. So she knows my face. She knows what my hair does. She knows that this, goes all cattywampus. And so I knew I would get a good hair. When you go to a new hairdresser, you just don't know what you're walk out with, because they don't know you. They've never seen you before. They don't know your hair. They don't know what your hair does. They don't know your face. They don't know your personality, how to, they just don't know. So when I saw Brittany, I was so excited. And I said, I just want you to even it up. I want you to leave some over the ears, which you can see she didn't. I said, I want you to, how I do is like clip, and then this just hangs over my ear. And I said, then from there, I just start, going back and clipping. And when I get to the top, I just take this and twist it around, and whatever's hanging off gets clipped. And, that's the way that goes. And I said, you do what you need to do. I want it evened up, because you can't see the back of your head. So I said, I know it's shorter here and it's longer here, and I can't see. So that's what I want you to do, is just even it up. And I said, you know how you take off some here and it's too long over here. So you take off some over here and it's too long over here. And I said to her, if you need to shave it all off, it's okay. The lady across the mirror, the mirrors are like this, and this station is here and that station. She looks at me and she started laughing, but she had these big eyes and like, and I said, I'm serious. I'm had it. You can't cut your hair with toenail clippers and expect it to look right. Which is the truth. So thank you very much. Poppy? Oh my gosh. Now that's a blast from the past. How are you doing, my dear? I don't think I've seen you for over a year. I'm so glad you stopped in the cottage today. Leave your shoes outside and all of your negative thoughts. And I hope you brought a bucket along with your project bag. And if you did, set your bucket at the door, because before we go home, we fill it with love. And then you can give a dipper full of love to people around you that really need some happiness in their life. Wow. I'm so glad to see you here today, sweetheart. It's been a while. All right, we are making a cat, and I have chosen this Big Twist Value yarn, and it is the colorway Mountainside. And I am making a tabby cat. Now, we have already done the ears. And last week we did the tail. And I put in a flexible hair curler from, I'm pretty sure I got mine at the Dollar Tree, but people are saying they got theirs at Aldi. So I'm not really sure now where I got it, but they come in different sizes, and we have used this green one to put in the body to elongate the neck and put a giraffe head on. So they're quite useful, and I think you get, looks like 4 of each color in a package. So that's that. And like I said, this week we're doing the head, the cat's head. Now, when we get to the feet, I want to know, I got a tissue hanging over there. I want to know, tabby cats, are they all this color? Do they have a bit of white on them and maybe white feet? What do you guys think? Oh, did you, Jennifer? I think I did get them at the Dollar Tree. I'm so thankful you caught this one because we always have fun here. And I've been missing you. Leanie, you finished your cat. All right. Well, we're going to finish the head today. So, Susan Burke. See, white on the belly and white on the legs. Yeah, I was thinking I would maybe do a white leg and see how it looked. You know, I would imagine you can, well, I know for a fact you can do a cat in any color you want because I've seen Pebbles cats and they are multicolored, literally multicolored. Sometimes their arms and legs don't match. They're just totally different colors than their head and their body. And they're awesome and they make people feel safe and comfortable. A black cat. Oh, that had to be hard to crochet. I don't do black very well anymore. And charcoal gray, the dark navies, I have to sit there with a light because they're very difficult to do. Anyway, I'm going to pull out some yarn for the head. As a head, for those of you who have done the bunny head, the cat head starts out the very same with a magic circle and 6, and then 12, and then 18, and then 24, then 30, and then 36, and then 42. So let me get my new camera going here. I like this camera so very much. It's working so well for me. And you know the routine. Settings, camera, allow. Oh, and there's a pocket. There's my pocket. Which means I've got my camera on backwards. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, while I was at the Dollar Tree, I found some green paint. This is really, really cheap nail polish. And I've got 3 coats on, and you would never believe it because it's already chipping off the edges. Look at my poor old raggedy fingernails. They're all, you know what I did? I'm embarrassed to tell you, but I have this tool whereby you use it to push back your cuticle. And once you get it pushed back, it kind of sticks up from the rest of your nail. And you take this part of it and you just run it right along the edge, and it takes off all that dead skin. It's a wonderful tool, except I had trouble getting some polish off my fingers. So what did I do? I took the tool and I took the polish off my fingers. Hang on a second, okay, guys? Okay, are we back? Okay. Okay. Anyway, I took it off. So now my nails are all dug and uneven, and it's terrible. And don't ever do that to your nails. Don't ever. Oh boy. Yes, and the gardening also. All right, we're going to start out with the magic circle like we usually do. Once, twice, up over my index finger and hold it with my little finger, which causes me to turn my hand. I'm going to go in and grab, I call it a snag. I go in and snag my yarn. Well, you didn't even get to see that, did you? Let's try it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, over the finger, hold, go in, snag, and secure. Now we're going to do, oh, come on now. Snag and secure. I got a 5. That should work. All right. We're going to do 6 singles. Well, that looked like a double, didn't it? Why do I do this? Why? You know what? It's easier to do it than it is to talk about it while you're doing it. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and my snag. Then I'm going to pull the tail. Now I sound like Sunita. And I'm going to take the smaller circle and pull it until I close the first one up. And then I'm going to grab the tail and close up the second circle. This goes behind. This goes here. And I am going to put in a row marker. That looks more like a chicken comb. Okay, I'm going to put in a row marker. And then I'm going to put 2 single crochets in each single crochet of the previous round. Since we started with black, we're going to do 1, 2. Now, if you've done the bunny before, you can go at your own pace, and then you'll have to wait for me when I catch up. 1, 2. Because the back of the bunny head and the back of most all of the buddy heads are the same. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42. That's the increase. You increase each row by 6. One, 2. Now we should have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. The gray one is 12. Now, since we put, this is what Atreyu taught me. We've got 2 in each one. So we want to increase by 6. That means we need to put 1 stitch in before the 2. So we're going to put in 1 stitch, and he says, I love this too, I'm going to slice the icing off the top of the cake. We put a 1 before the 2, so 1, 2. 1 and 2 in this one. Now that's where I get confused because I usually do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. But he does it in 2s. We've already done 2s around, so now we're going to put a 1 before the 2. So we'll do 1 and 2. Either way you do it, the math comes out right. It all equals 3. 1 in this next one and 2 in the last one. You should always have 2 in the last one. All right, the next row, that should give us 18. The next row, we're going to add 6. 6 and 18 is 24. We've got 6 stitches we've started with, so we need to have 4 stitches in each, what Sunitha calls piece of the pie, which I love. So we're going to put 2 1s in front of the 2. 1, 2, and then the 2. Or as I do it, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That should give us 24. 4 times 6 is 24. Now we're going to add 6, which will make it 30. So 30 divided by 6 is 5. So we'll have 3 1s and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. I only do it this round because it's easy to count by 5s. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 in the last one. There we go. Now we're going to add 6, which makes it 36. So we need 4 1s before the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That green's horrible, isn't it? Woo-hoo! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something's come out wrong. I don't know what I did. Did you guys catch it? Bye, Mia. Tammy. KK. All right, let's go back and see what I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Aha. Let's see, where were we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. KK. This is Sanithis Crossing with Kindness. I didn't send a picture of it to you, though. And this is number 12, I think. And then this one is the new one from Atreyu. That's 13. I'm not going to mention. I am not an overachiever. You know that. I just I am ADHD and I am hyperfocused. And when I start on a project, I'm like into the project. I'm into it, and I will go and go and go until I burn myself out, or the goal is met, and I can hyper focus on something else. So I have challenged myself. I'm not doing it for any other reason. I challenged myself to do one hat a day. It takes me a little while to do them, not much at all. It's not a big drain on my strength, or it's just something that I love to do, okay? And I love the person I'm doing it for, and I think it's a very good cause, and I'm not going to stop, okay? No matter what anybody says, I'm not trying to be, you know me, I am what I am, and that's all what I am, and I'm good with that. I'm not trying to win any prizes. I'm not trying to get a pat on the back. I'm not trying to get a trophy or a bag full of goodies. I just right now am trying to make a hat a day, to challenge myself to make a hat a day. And that's where I am. And I'm okay with that. It's not that I hyper focus on it exclusively. I got a cat going here. I've got a baby dress going. I've got a couple blankets going. I spend a lot of my time on my own, quietly sitting and crocheting. And I like that. And that's who I am. And that's who I'm probably always going to be. And I'm not apologizing for making 10 hats in January, 28 hats for the days in February, and being on 13 for March. I'm behind 2 hats, so there. It does give me joy. It does give me joy. And I'm not going to stop. So, to those of you who say that I do it for other reasons, you don't know me. All right, let's see where we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I do apologize for that rant, but I needed to get it out. And now I've gotten it out, I can let it go. So thank you. Erase it in your memory if you want, but that's where it is. 4, 5, and 6. And that gives us 36. Now we got one more row to go because we need 42. And 6 plus 36 is 42. All right, let's give it a go. Don't forget this first stitch. A lot of times I come up one short because I've forgotten this first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Atreyu says, back in there. I like him. His voice is so soft and gentle. And it's just, you just want to work along with him. And he makes it easier, like Juan does. He's got, little sayings for all of his things. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slice the icing off the top of the cake. And the next one, we're going to put in 2. Back in there. I love it. Anything that makes me smile while I'm crocheting, I enjoy. Six, 7. KK, this is Big Twist in the colorway Mountainside. And I can't wait for autumn because I'm going to make a hat out of this. Because I think it'll make a very pretty autumn hat. 6 and 7. We should have 6 stitches left, which gives us 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 2. And that gives us the back of our head with 42 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and if you counted, there's 7 stitches in between each one of these octagonal pieces of the pie, Sunitha calls them. So that's 42. Now, we're going to do, well, I thought I turned that off. Hopefully that shut it off. All right. Let's see how many rows we need to do for the back of the head. We've got to 42, and that we should be on row 6. Because we've got 6 stitches and the 7th one in the same stitch. So that's row 6. On row 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, we're going to do 42 stitches. Seven starts our regular round. 2, 4, 6. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 11 are going to be 42 stitches each. So just go right ahead and stitch 42 stitches in the next 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5 rounds. And while you're doing that, I'm going to pull this up and see if this works for me. No. It's not going to. Shift 3, it says. No, it's not going to. All right, well, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back over to the camera and switch back to the integrated camera. Me! Erica Baker is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you popped in. We're right in the middle of a bunny head that we're making. And we've gone increase rows starting from 6 up to 42. And now we're doing 5 rounds of 42 stitches each. We've created the back of the head, and now we're creating the top and the sides. We're rounding off the head. And when we get to 42, when we get to round 11, 12 is a decrease row, and that starts the brow, the forehead of the cat. So if you're a fast stitcher and you want to catch up, grab a 4-ply worsted weight yarn, a size 4mm hook. Start out with a magic circle like we always do on all of the somebodies or some bunnies, with 6 single crochets, and start increasing by 6 on every row until you get to round 6, and that should have 42 stitches. If not, grab a pencil and write it down. Or, if you'd like, send me a Gmail and ask for the pattern, and I'll send it to you. I can't send you the cat because that's a copyrighted pattern, but I can send you a copy of my Some Bunny pattern, which is pretty much the same as all the Some Bunnies, and all the basics are the same as the Some Bunnies and the Some Buddies. Tina, welcome, welcome. Mishi, welcome, welcome, sweetheart. Stitching and listening. Okay. You know, you can bring any project that you want here into the cottage and just sit and work on your own project. You don't have to make a cat. Good, Erica. Yeah, Leanie put it up on the screen for you. Let's see if we can highlight this. There we go. Missy'sCottage@gmail.com. Thank you, Leanie. Yeah, don't forget to join the Facebook group. What else did I want to say something about? Guys, I'm thinking about dropping my PayPal account, which I don't know how that works with Coffee, because I think Coffee sends it to PayPal, or can send it to PayPal. Maybe it can send it other places. Maybe it holds on to it. I don't know enough about it. You'll have to tell me, because I am technologically defunct. So if somebody knows about that and they can let me know about it, I would greatly appreciate it. But I don't want to deal with PayPal anymore. I'm not sure they're very fair, but there again, I don't know enough about it to make a intelligent. Well, by golly, what's going on with this? I'll tell you how to do it. I know how to do it. Settings. That is not what I wanted to do, okay? I don't want accounts and backup. I want to shut down. I'm just going to have to ignore it. I told you I wasn't tech savvy. I know nothing. It's like Sergeant Schultz. I know nothing. I do know that I look more like my father than my mother with this short hair. My mother always had real soft curls around her face, and we chopped them all off. But this is the beginning of summer, and I'm certain by the end of summer they'll all be back again. So those of you who have gone back and watched some reruns and said, no, that's not the same lady, it is. I just look more like my dad today than I did a couple weeks ago or last month. You might need to make one. Gail, you email me at that email. Jen's here. And Barbara Riggle Baker is here. I love that girl. Good. Thank you, Erica. Yeah, my sister Eileen takes care of all of that. So if you see something good in there, you need to let her know, because I don't know what I'm doing there either. I'm pitiful, really. When it comes to technology, I'm pitiful. All right, let's see. Where am I? I'm on 9. I have 2 more rows to go. And I hope you have been crocheting while I've been yakking and crocheting, so that we're about the same place when we get there. You're liking it, Tina? Thank you. Sure is a little bit cooler. Now she did, I'll have to turn around and show you. She did take off over my ear. I don't have as much over the ear as I like. I like it to come down halfway. But she did take a lot of this off, and I got what they call a DA, a duck's back end. So that's what that is. And there is a little bit of puff here, but not a whole lot. I think she took me at my word and shaved it. That's okay, because the magic about hair is it grows back. Yeah, it does. This is all starting to curl already, and when it's sprinkling out and it's in Florida, the humidity and the dampness, I look like little Orphan Annie's aunt. Okay, let's see who else is in here. I'm making a cat right now. And you're on the Facebook. Yeah. So this is the back of the cat's head, where we increased from 6 to 42, and now I'm starting the static rows. 42, 42. This one is 42. We're going up to row 11. Row 12 is a decrease row. I had a request for the pattern, and she did it after a show in the notifications. But she did not give me an address, and I do not have an email address for her, nor do I have a physical address for her. And I've responded to her request and not heard anything back. So if you have requested a pattern for the bunny, for my Sun Bunny, please ask me again, because we've got discombobulated, something. The difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut is 2 weeks. That's probably it. If you don't like what you got, especially in Florida, you wait 15 minutes. Or in this case, you wait 2 weeks and it grows out and hey, it doesn't look too bad at all. I, I I've never been vain. I am not Drop Dead Magazine gorgeous. I know that from the very beginning. My father loved me because I was his daughter slash son. I went everywhere with my dad. We went hunting, we went fishing, we did everything together, and I got unconditional love from him. Unfortunately, my mother had another child, and that baby became, well, not unfortunately, that sounded really terrible. But, you always hang on to your baby. So I was never the favorite in her eyes. And that's an honest opinion. And it's nothing against my mom and nothing against me. It's just, I'm very stubborn. I was very opinionated. And I didn't take a lot of crap from my sisters. They were both older, 4 and 7 years older. So, and when I wanted to do something, I did it. And my mother was very passive. She did not like confrontation. She was meek and mild and wonderful, a wonderful mother. And that's why my dad married her, because she was a lady. Me, I was a hooligan. Give me a book and let me climb a tree and leave me alone. I would ride across the moors on a black stallion with my hair flying in the wind, or I'd be at the prow of a 3-masted schooner heading across the ocean. Don't make me stand in the kitchen and do dishes. All right, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm on row 11. This is my last row of my last static row of 42 stitches. How are we doing for time? We're doing okay. For those of you who are new, we usually stop about quarter till or 10 till, somewhere in there, the last section of the program. And we talk about God for a little bit. And if he's given me any words of wisdom this week because I slipped off the path. And then we take prayer requests. If anyone has a prayer request, we write them down. And then through the week, we pray over them. And we also take praises. We've had so many praises last week. It was wonderful. Michael had an appendix burst, and they had to do emergency surgery, and they put the tube down his throat so he could breathe, and it got damaged. I think it got damaged, either mildly irritated or anything in between that and anything else you can think of. But he is home. He's doing well. The problem is his speech hasn't come back yet, and that's probably from the irritation from the oxygen tube. So we're continuing to pray for him that his voice will return. And that's Linda Davidson's son. All right, I have completed 11 rows. And this is what my head looks like. My cat head looks like. Now we're going to do row 12, which is a decrease row. And that row says, okay, remember when we were going up and up and up and adding 6 to every row? And we got to 36, and then we went 5, and then 2 in the next one to get us to 42. We're going to decrease that same amount. We're going to single crochet 5 and then decrease in the next 2. So we're going back to 36 stitches. And I'm going to flip back to the other camera so you don't have to look at this anymore. Hang on, here we go. Rosie's here. Hello, sweetheart. You snuck in whilst I was smiling at the camera. I don't know why this is smaller, but it is. And I can't get it to go to a picture of me. Maybe I have to pay for that. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I have to pay for that to get a picture of my face and the head at the same time. I don't know. All right, on this one, I'm going to move my row counter to the back, and we're going to go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to do a decrease, and we're going to do an invisible decrease, which means we're going to pick up the front loop only of this stitch and the front loop only of this stitch. Now, you know, when you do a decrease, you pick up both of these, take the icing off of this one, and sometimes you pull up a loop but don't complete it, and you take the icing off of this one and don't complete it, and then do all 3. That causes a big bulk and a hole. I don't like it. So my decreases that I like to do is I pick up this one and I go back and pick up the next one. I've got 2 on my hook. This makes it 1 stitch. And then I decreased. Now I'm going to go 5. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. I don't know what I did. Okay, this was the decrease stitch. Yes, no, no. This was the decrease stitch. 1 and 2 stitches in this decrease stitch. All right, so let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and decrease, picking up the front 2 loops. And that gives me 6, which just gives me 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease gives me 6. 3 6s are 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease which is 24. And you thought math was only good to find out how many apples were left after your sister took 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 go into 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease, 2, 6. And look, we're back here to row 13. Now row 13 tells me to double crochet 4 and then 2 together. So we're going back to 30 stitches. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. One, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. Thanks, Jen. I turned my body, that's why. And when I did that, the whole thing went. Thanks for reminding me. You know, I have this little thing here, this little 5 or S for center. I am good at math, but spelling, not so good. Anyway, yeah, I like the invisible one, Barbara. Three, 4, and a decrease. One. Is it too close? I don't know. And another decrease. This will take us down to 30 stitches. I couldn't find my 5.0 bamboo hook. I know it's probably, I probably have, well, actually, well, maybe probably have 6 of them somewhere out there in different projects. Anyway, I couldn't find one, so I had to use my clover, which I like very much. And a decrease. All right, now you can see how this head is really beginning to form. Cupping in on itself. This will be row 14. Because you know me, my evens are on the inside and my odds are on the outside. So this is going to be an even row, which is row 14. And row 14 says, I've got to move this, guys. Double crochet 3, single crochet 3 and decrease. till you get to 24 stitches. This little cat head is small. So here we go. We're going to make sure we get into the first stitch. 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. 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 1, 2, 3. Look at there, we've got 2 stitches left, just enough to make our decrease. Okay, I would suggest to you at this point that you start stuffing your cat's head to help keep its shape. And what I like to do is to take a bunch of fiber fill and pull it apart, make it fluffy, because the head will keep its shape because it's so small. And you don't want to pack it full, firm, because it's the head. And if it's just enough to keep its shape without excess weight, it won't wobble on the neck. Okay? I'm just going to put that much in to help hold its shape. And you can see it's cupping in, so I can count my stitches. Row 15, which is an outside row, an odd row, 15. We're going to do a stitch in each single crochet around. It's a 15. It's a constant row. We're going to keep it the same number of stitches. 15. Seven. I forgot to count. 8, 9, 10. I also like how this big twist yarn pools a bit. So my blacks are together. I've got some stripes on his head, like a real cat has stripes. This has been a very nice yarn to work with. And when I was going over my yarn bins to pick out a yarn, some of them said, "Pick me, pick me." I had two of them jump off out of the bins and onto the floor. And this one just sat there and went, meow, meow. Psst. So I picked it, and I think it turned out well. All right, now we're on row 16, and I'm going to switch to a different color of this. 16 says one. Oh, wow, we're really getting small. Okay, reading ahead, here's what I'm going to do. This is where we stopped, right here. And if you can see, there's a cheek. And here's a cheek. And here's the top of the head. I'm going to go ahead and put the eyes in right now, because, and I think I'm going to use brown eyes today. I have some really funky eyes. Those might be too big for that little cat. Let's see what's over here. Those are noses, I think. And what is this? That's something altogether different. Well, I know I have some weird eyes in here somewhere. I have seven jars of eyes, guys. 7 jars of eyes. Ah, here it is. Here's what I was looking for. This jar. This won't work. Put that back. But this jar of eyes, look at this. It has gold sparkly eyes. It has yellow eyes. It has blue sparkly eyes. It has, they're clear, and you put the color in behind the clear part. Is what's happening here. These are giant clear eyes. Look how big this eye is. Can you see that eye? That's a big eye. And these are green. And then there's some red one. Oh, pink, hot pink. Woo! These are silver. And last but not least are the devil red eyes. Okay, so I am not going to go anything really wild. I'm thinking, do I do gold, like a golden bronze eye? Do I do a... These eyes are really sparkly. These green ones, they really are. I think it's just the other side, yes. And then this big eye goes in the middle of this. So when you pull this extra paper off this eye, you get this green eye. And you see that green eye? So do I want a green eye? Do I want a gold eye? Or yellow eye, or this kind of bronzy? What do you think, guys, with the head? What's your choice? One green eye and one yellow. I'm not over the center. Thank you. Kitty Lane! There's my baby boomer from the peninsula in Virginia. So what do we want to do, guys? Do we want a yellow eye, a green eye, or this gold eye? Green, green, gold, gold, green, gold, green. I'm looking at these eyes. And I'm trying to figure out which is the best one to put on this cat. What do you think with the coloring? That's what I was thinking too, Barbara, but look at this. If I put this eye in, two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. If I put this eye in, am I going to see it really? I think it might just blend in too much. If I put this eye in, that green's going to show up. We put this gold eye in. These are almost too big, you know that? These eyes are almost too big for this cat. Looks more like an owl. What do you think, green or the gold? Yeah, red eyes. This big? Yeah, red eyes. Not the gold? Okay, we'll go with the green. We'll go with the green. We'll go with the green. All right. I'm just afraid the I'm just afraid that the bronze would just blend in too much. And the gold would be pretty, but I don't know that it's going to show up as well as this green. And I don't need this many out here. All right. So we're going to go ahead and put these on. I knew that wouldn't work. All right, let me get out my... I'm going to put the eye in here and the post in the hole. Watch how easy this is. Snip, snap, we're in. All right, let's put the green on here. We'll find the eye hole. And make sure they line up outside and the outside. Then I'm going to put this on. Oh, my hands just won't do it anymore, guys. All right, we'll do this. Put this in the hole. And there you go. It does look like an owl. That's okay. All right, now we need to speed this up a bit. I need to get another piece of yarn. Because this is going to be... I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull this one through. And I'm going to pull this one through. So now they're on the inside where they belong. And this was 15. So now we're going to do row 16. So let's put it on the even side. And 16 says single crochet 1 and single crochet 2 together. All the way around. We probably put our eyes too low. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, I don't put noses on mine because when I draw all my last 6 stitches together, I think it looks like it forms a nose. And you know me and my some bunnies and my some buddies. I never put a mouth on them. Because my some bunnies and my some buddies, you can tell them anything that you want. Your worst fears, your joys, your sorrows, your deepest, darkest secret, anything. And because they have no mouth, they will never share. They are incapable of spreading rumors. They will love you unconditionally for the rest of your life and never tell anyone what you've shared with them. That's what makes these so awesome. They never share. You can have a best friend that says, "Oh, tell me, I'll never share." And then you'll hear it 2 weeks down the road. You'll never hear it with this guy. And there's our last stitch right there, the two together. So row 17, because we're out here on the outside, it's an odd row. Row 17 says go ahead and do your 16 stitches again. Do a constant row. I will say goodbye to you, to all of those of you who need to go. I am now over my, no, we've still got 2 minutes. Okay, well, we're going to go over a little bit so that I can make sure I get this finished for those of you who are doing the cat. I don't want to leave you like I have to leave you sometimes. All right, we're going back to an even number, and that would be row 18. And it says single crochet 2 and then 2 together. So we've got 1, 2, and 2 together. And we're going to do this 4 times. 1, 2, and 2 together for 2. 1, 2, and 2 together for 3. And we are out of stitches. So we're just going to do 1 and 2. Wow. Now I'm going to take my stuffing. And that's probably all I'll need right there. And we're going to poke it in here and fill out the front of his face. And I like to do it this way so that I get in all the cracks and crevices around. Because I can always fill that hole in later. And in the book that I can't give you the recipe for, it says if you want to, you can change to a lighter color here. To do the muzzle, I think I'm just going to leave mine the way it is. Now I'm going to poke this right in the middle of the gall darn thing. And that's going to be the shape of my cat's head. All right, so what does the next round tell us? 2 together all the way around. And where is my marker. This is round 19, so it's got to be on the outside, an odd number. So 19, and we're going to do 2 together all the way around, a decrease. Decrease. A decrease. A decrease. And a decrease. And that should leave us, I think, with 5 or 6 stitches. They want you to go down to 2, but I'm not going there. I don't like that kind of I don't like that kind of a nose. So I'm going to go ahead and clip off my extra. I'm going to pull this back through on my last decrease. I can pull my row counter out now. I'm going to get my yarn needle, and you can use any kind of a yarn needle, whether it's plastic or steel or whatever you like. And I like to fold it over my needle, pinch it, and then it usually goes right through. And I can lay it on my finger hard, pinch my fingers together, and then pull the needle right through, and it usually catches for me, okay? So I'm going to go through this one, and 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 this one, which is 6. And now I'm going to pull them tight. And I like to go around them again, because it gives a nice little nose. So I'm going to go in these 6 stitches that are left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pull it tight. And because it's like up on this side, you see that? I'm going to come over, I think, through this stitch right here. And then I'm going to go right down through the middle and come out down here in the neck. And I think if I do that, I'll lose my thread. Yes, I did. Let's try this again. If I go down through the middle and come out the bottom, there we go. I can pull that section of nose down, and it won't be so prominent. And that, my loves, is your cat head. And this is your cat's nose. And next week, we will do the cat's body. I think that's the only part we've got left. We did the head. We did the ears. Oh, we've got legs to do. Now, if you've done bunny legs, you can do the cat legs. But we've got a couple more weeks in this month, so not to worry. Not to worry. Okay, setting that there, putting my tools back, putting my needle back, putting my camera back. Oops, let's put the eyes back too. Those are fun eyes, aren't they? I'm telling you, Amazon. You can get anything you want on good old Amazon, except in Alice. Excuse me. Okay, we're back. Yeah, the cat legs are exactly the same. Leanie, I'll probably have another one done by next week because, that's what I'm doing again. But that's the cat's head, complete with green eyes. Whoops. Let's get them up here even, huh? Okay. Zach, man. Zach, I've got one. I love it. I even take a nap with it. Don't be nervous about it. You will be amazed when you put that nose pillow there and you're all hooked up to your machine, how much easier it is to breathe. Honestly, if you have any trouble, you call me because I will reassure you. Okay, now the Bible, this is Lent, and this is the season to remember the sacrifice that Christ did for us. He gave up his life as the sacrificial lamb to be able to wash away our sins with his blood. That's what Lent's all about, leading up to Easter. I learned this week that the ashes from Ash Wednesday are to remind us that we came from dust and we will return from dust. Now, I don't know about you, but dust doesn't count much for me. Dust is dirt, dust, nothing, nil, zip, zilch, nada. When you have the priest or the father or the pastor or whoever, if you did, he puts a cross of ashes on your forehead, maybe as an outward symbol to others that you are a follower of Christ, but also to remind yourself that without him we're nothing. We think we're so special. We're nothing. We came from dust and our bodies are going to go back to dust. Our soul won't, but our bodies will go back to dust in the end. It's inevitable. And that is a reminder for us to remember that we're not so hot as we think we are. We need to be more humble. We need to be looking out for brothers and sisters. And we need to be a building block for them, not a stumbling block. We need to be encouragers of others of the faith. I don't care if they're Jewish or Muslim. The Muslims don't believe like we do. They are more of a cult of death than a cult of Islam, I think, is more of a cult of death than a cult of life. Like we believe in everlasting life. We believe that there's something out there greater than ourselves. We're nothing, which doesn't mean you have no value. It just means Sandra's here. I'm so glad you came in today. I love that girl. Okay, and so treat others with respect. Remember, one of my favorite things is out of Timothy, I think it is um, yeah, this is my best friend. In all things, consider others more important than yourself. It doesn't mean they are. It doesn't mean you're worthless, you're just a pile of dust. It just means remember that you are not God, that He is. He is the glory and the power. He is love. He is honor. He deserves it all for what He did for us. And in comparison to Him, we're nothing. But to Him and the love He has for us, we're everything. We are everything to Him. So put that in your pocket. Go out this week and be humble. Treat others special. Open their doors, smile at them, say good morning, say good afternoon, even if they don't answer you back and they're grumpier than all get out. You just might be the light in that person's life, the only one they see. Don't hide it under a bushel. No! I'm going to let it shine. All right, this is the part where we take prayer requests, and because it's March, I have my green prayer request pen on hand, and this is the 15th day of March. Prayers for everyone who needs them, plus for myself in pain in all my muscles. Oh, your right arm. Oh, that's Barbara Andrews. I will pray for you because I'm having some not carpal tunnel. That's here. What is this one called? I'm having some trouble in my rotator cuffs. That's what it is. And to reach out and up is very painful. So, Barbara Andrews, pain in the right arm. All right, who else? Leanie, I'm so sorry. Don't taste the wax on Baby Bell cheese. Okay, and Erica for a safe move. Next Saturday. All right. Susan Burke says for her hip and her leg. I love Baby Bell cheese. Sally Stevens says, in all things, consider others more important than yourself because kindness matters. I love that, Sally. Thank you. Kira's going to stay on her mushroom supplement for her seizures, and she has an iris atrophy. Oh, ooh, 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 ooh. That's not good. Gail Burston for her friend Marcella. Starts treatment this week. Can you tell us, Gail, what kind of treatment? Is she doing radiation or chemo or um, some other kind of treatment? Zach Man, he has terrible anxiety about everything. About crocheting, about his CPAP machine, about the dentist tomorrow. We need to pray for Zach Man. Chemo. Thank you, Gail. I have not done chemotherapy, but I did go through several weeks, 23 weeks of radiation. I think 23 weeks of radiation therapy. I get the 23rd mixed up because I think that was my last one. So it might have been 17 weeks ending on the 30th, on the 23rd. I don't remember. Don't be sorry. We are what we are, and that's all what we are, and we can need to be okay with that, Zach Man. And the surgery went well. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. That is a praise. I don't remember, Gail, if you gave us a name for her. Marcella. Okay, Marcella. I do have it in my book. And you asked for health issues, prayer for health issues. So I'm glad to know that it all came out well. That our God is a mighty God. Yeah, dental fear is it doesn't matter, Zach. It doesn't matter why you go to the dentist and you have that anxiety. It's not anything you can control unless you have some kind of a mantra. And a mantra is just something that calms you down. Um, I say things like, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me." And that tells me that no matter where I go or what I do, I don't go alone. God is with me. And that calms me knowing that He's going to go through in front of me and all of those bad things are going to go off and I'm back here. He's up here and all these things are hitting him and going off. So I don't have to be afraid. I'm still going to be inside a little bit, but I keep telling my brain, I don't have to fear that because God is with me. He's going through it before me. So you need maybe to just sit and think about a happy thing. Um, Remember to hold God's hand when you're in the chair. Maybe that will work for you. Hold your mother's hand. Whatever works for you, Zach, that's what you need to keep telling yourself over and over and over in your head so that it won't be so anxiety um, creating. Okay, guys. Wow, we went really over 20 minutes over. Okay, I need to go. And I'm going to put up a yes or no on my tab to tell me, would you like to get together one evening a week? And I don't know, you may have to tell me what day is best for you. I don't think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't think I want to do it over a long weekend. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, if one of those 4 days would be a good day, if you don't have someone, well, Tuesday, we probably can't do it Tuesday because that's when Jen's on. And Monday is when, well, I don't know. We'll pick a time. Pick a time in a day that would be good for you to bring your project and just sit and crochet for an hour. And I'm going to sit and crochet for an hour and we can just chat. Okay. Okay. Jen's on Tuesday. Sanitha's on Monday. I'll have to check times. It might be earlier, might be later. I don't know. Um, it'll be interesting to find out. Remember that God loves you unconditionally, and I love you the same. And I pray that He keeps you safe, that He keeps you calm, that you know that wherever you go, He's with you, holding your hand. And I will see you on Wacky Wednesday when we're going to do another double crochet trick. Love you all. Bye.